Hi guys, it's Aaron. This is Zach recording right now. We are doing our first video to start off our build, which I am calling Project Black Sheep. You'll find out why eventually, why I'm calling it that. But this is my 2003 Audi A4 Quattro 5-speed 1.8 turbo. It's got a few things done to it already, pretty basic. I've got Sparco wheels, 18 by 8s I believe, I can't remember what they were. Suspension techniques, coilovers front and rear, almost slammed to the point of scraping. Pop the hood for you. Everything's pretty much stock. A few basic things. Have Phoenix Engineering injector cups, KO3 turbo, basically a bone stock 1.8, common 1.8 issues, head gasket, cooling issues, bad turbo, all that jazz. Interior stock, everything's pretty clean on it, which is exactly why I would want to tear it apart, because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Now, the goal of the build is to have it done by the time Import Alliance 2021 comes around. I'd like to be able to finish this by that time. I do not know if that's going to be a thing based off of what I'm planning on doing. So with that being said, I guess let's just get into that right now. As far as the motor goes, I'm shooting for 450 to 500 horse out of the 1.8, and we'll move on to bigger and better stuff after Import Alliance next year. But, you know, trying to keep it as simple as possible motor-wise for the time being, that's my goal at this point. The whole front end, we're gonna tear apart. I wanna make a custom tube framed radiator support and headlight support, all that kind of stuff. Basically turn this thing into a race car that feels like a street car on the inside, and that's essentially the goal. And on top of that, all right, now we're sealed. The biggest thing that this is gonna be is wide-bodied, full fiberglass front bumper, fenders, hood might stay stock for the time being. One of the things that I had considered was doing a full pop-up front end. Not too sure on how I'm going to make that work yet, but have been considering it, so we're going to kind of wing that part of it. But goal is larger opening for intercooler and radiator and cooling overall. I want to have side ducts here and here underneath the headlights for brake ducts, which I'm hoping to make functional as well. Big brake kit, I'll probably go with the Porsche, I believe it's pronounced Cayenne. Porsche Cayenne, front and rear calipers for the brakes. Full suspension bits, I want everything to be as solid as possible. Like I said, I want it to drive and handle much like a race car, but without the viciousness of a race car on the inside. So trying to keep it comfortable and still daily drivable. Yes, that's exactly it. I have kids, so I do have to be able to haul them around at some point. So
just give them a couple O'Shea handles.
yeah, why not? About the only thing I'm going to be doing with the interior, I am planning a 6-speed swap in this. Short shifter, solid bushing, solid motor mounts, all that jazz. Pretty basic. I'm going to be doing racing seats. I haven't decided on what kind that I want yet, but I do want to keep everything black on the interior. I like it. It flows nicer.
Mm-hmm. Put some suede in there.
Yeah, that's actually black suede headliner was part of the plan. And I saw a video online the other day about flocking a dash, and I'm considering trying it. So, but
what's flocking a dash?
It gives the appearance of suede, but it's much easier than suede. It's almost like a powder that you kind of shake off onto the dash after you lay contact cement all over it. So it gives the appearance of suede without having to worry about contours and all that other stuff. So it helps reduce glare off of the dash so that when you're, you know, driving around and all that, you don't have sunlight reflecting in your eyes.
Right, because that mirror right there.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's so shiny right now. This is my work car, don't judge me. But with the seats, I will be getting harnesses. Like I said, I also do not know. Yes, they will be 5 points. No Hans system, it's not going to be needed. But I don't want to go full cage with it. Like I said, it's still going to be daily driven. I'm still going to use this every once in a while to pick the kids up and, you know, run places. So.
What are you doing, a half cage?
No, actually, I'm going to do a B-pillar harness bar. I want to try and tie it into the whole B-pillar with some dimple-dyed plates and all that kind of stuff to help spread the load out, just plus appearance's sake. But mainly doing a harness bar across the B-pillar so that I can still, you know, use it for passengers and everything else in the back. But other than that, it's going to stay stock. You know, no sound system. I'm not big into that. I want to go fast and look good. That's pretty much it. So.
Right.
Short shifter, all your basics, gauges to monitor everything.
What stage clutch you gonna run?
Probably 2. Haven't thought too much about what brand I want to go with on that. Like I said, I'm don't even have my 6-speed yet, so all that kind of stuff is pretty easy to figure out. The body is going to be the most time-consuming, difficult. That's going to probably require more planning than almost anything else in the car. I mean, countless recipes on how to make 500 horse out of these motors, you know, what clutches are best. All that stuff's pretty easy, but bodywork is a very time-consuming and tedious thing to do, and making sure it's even on both sides, all that's extremely difficult and painstaking. So that's going to be the bigger focus, and then everything else will kind of just fly by once we get all that handled. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but there is a racing series in Europe called the DTM. I couldn't tell you what it stands for right now, but it's basically like the touring car series of Europe, and that's kind of the style that I'm going for with this body kit. I'm gonna have vents on the fenders, on the tops of the fenders for air to let out. When the fender meets the door panel, it'll be, you know, out to here a little ways, and it'll be completely open along the back side for air to get out.
You get more aerodynamic when you're racing.
Obviously, I'm not gonna wind tunnel test this dang thing, but you know, it'll look functional. I'll put it that way. Possibly venting the hood a little bit to help with getting air out from under it.
Got a couple dents.
Yeah, you know, it's not gonna be perfect, I guess. I might go with a little bit smaller mirror. All that stuff still undecided. All of the grayish plastic along the bottom, all of that's going to be gone. The door blades are going to be gone. I'll have custom side skirts. Rear quarter panels are going to start somewhere around the door and flow out, and then they're going to get stopped right about in here. Lower part of the bumper will be gone all of the way around. I want to make a diffuser that comes down.
Draw it on the...
Oh, this from here down, all of this gray will be gone. I would like to make a diffuser. You know, obviously the center, you're gonna have your vertical ribs and everything, but I wanna have something that comes down over here and then out with some side plates on it. So you'll have your wide body comes over or down, and then it'll cut back in, and then you'll just have your diffuser sticking out. So you'll have that gap right here for all that air to come out from around the wheel.
Push your ass under the ground.
Yeah, hopefully.
Squat.
Being that I am doing all this in fiberglass, I want to try and make a complete fiberglass underbody for it as well. Not necessarily a one piece, but I would like something covering the entire underbody of the car.
Help out with aerodynamics.
Yeah, help everything flow, help it, you know, help smooth the air out underneath the car. Let's see. I will be putting canards on the front as well. It's gonna be pretty wild. It's kind of the goal. I wanted to really grab you. I've got a couple sponsors that are already interested right now. Somebody I've already gotten a lot of parts from is ECS Tuning. If you haven't heard of them and you're watching this video because you're a fan of Audis, then you're living under a rock, I'll put it that way. ECS is pretty big as far as Audis and BMWs and everything. So I've already talked to them, so we're trying to get... Huh?
Where are they out of?
Oh, they are out of Ohio. I can't remember what town it was called. I'll have to get back to you on my next video. So they are out of Ohio, though, which is great because that's where we're coming out of, too. So, you know, at the end of this, I'd like to be able to take it over to their shop, especially, you know, if with their help and everything, that'd be pretty cool to go over and show them once everything's finished. But there's a vinyl wrap company that's near to me. I've only touched base with them once. I'll have to get you more info for that at some point, but they are going to be helping me with a lot of the fiberglass and sourcing material and a lot of the info on laying the glass and everything like that. And we'll detail that all in future videos. Obviously, it's not something we need to go into horrible detail about now, but got a couple people on board. So I guess that's the overall plan at this moment. And
What kind of plans you got for the windshield? You gonna go like Lexan, or you gonna leave it glass?
Windows are gonna stay glass for the time being. Future projects, if we decide to go with the motor swap of some sort and go for big power numbers, I think I might decide to go crazy and finally gut the interior, but that's this year. I want to keep the car drivable and everything else. If I get a beater car, you know, a second or third beater car to where I felt comfortable turning this thing into basically a race car for the street that's unusable for anything else, then I think we'll go that route. But for the time being, trying to keep it stock and focus on most of the body work and handle that first, and then we'll decide on the other stuff later. If I like it too much, once I get it done, then I'll just leave it alone. So.
You know what modification we can do? Where's your fucking squirters at?
My what?
Your windshield wiper squirters. We're gonna take the hoses right out from here. We're gonna run them in through the firewall, right next to the cup holders. We're gonna have Jack in one and Coke in the other.
Oh God, no, we can't do that. This thing's gonna be ridiculous. Oh, speaking of ridiculous, part of the other reason why I'm calling this project Black Sheep. I'm gonna get flamed for this so hard by every single one of you, and I know it. I'm rear-wheel drive converting this car, and if you don't like it, build your own. I don't care.
Weight reduction.
No, it's not weight reduction, but
for what you're building the car for, it just makes sense. You don't need all-wheel drive for that.
Yes, the advantages of all-wheel drive are kind of obvious, and I'm not going to deny that, and I love having all-wheel drive. Look, we live in Ohio, so we've had plenty of snow, and this thing is a blast. Great traction, handles phenomenally in the snow, but if there's anybody that can honestly look at me and tell me that they wouldn't have fun being able to do burnouts just once in their car, you know, I can't do that. It's kind of a buzzkill because everyone else is like, oh, I do burnouts. I'm like, yeah, well, I have an Audi, so, you know, can't. So I will be rear-wheel drive converting the car, mostly just for some burnout fun and a little bit of sideways action and playing around and stuff. It's not going to be daily driven. It's not going to see snow. You know, once you know the car show season is done next year, it's going to be like an every Friday kind of car. You know, something that comes out when the weather's nice, and maybe we'll beat on it here and there, but.
Trying to go get the ladies or the men, whatever. I don't know what you're into now.
I'll have to take my car seats out of the bag before I do that.
Hey, they like that.
Yeah. The other thing, I haven't thought too much about any carbon fiber. Not horribly concerned with weight reduction, obviously, and leaving a full interior, you know. So weight reduction is not the biggest priority right now, so I haven't decided on any carbon fiber. I do want to put, I'm not going to say a very wide wing. I don't want it to look like a Pikes Peak car, but I will be putting more of a touring style wing on the back. Again, still undecided on brand. I haven't really seen anything that catches my eye. Considered a bumper mount, considered a trunk mount.
What kind of exhaust you want to run?
As of right now,
or I should say, what's in the run-ins?
I have kind of just an El Cheapo exhaust. I'm not sure. I thought about going with a 3-inch all the way back. Not sure about straight piped or not. I also considered doing like just a single exit exhaust, like, you know, your typical STI, your typical Evo, Supra, whatever, you know, because all Audis, almost all systems that I've seen for Audis are all, they split at the rear axle, so you don't have a single large exhaust coming out the back, you have 2 pipes coming out the back. So I've considered going that route, but most guys can make, you know, 450, 500 horse with the you know, whatever aftermarket exhaust they can source. So
Are you gonna have stiff springs in it? No. Valve springs.
oh, valve springs. Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't gone too far with the motor build yet. I know what my goals are. I'm probably gonna end up sourcing some IE rods, stock crank, everything balanced. I'm probably going to lower the compression as well. As far as the cylinder head goes, I'm getting an AEB head, AEB intake manifold. If you want to show them the TIG welder, you're more than welcome to, because I can TIG weld. So I will be making all of my own piping.
Pardon all the garbage.
Huh?
I said pardon all the garbage.
Yeah.
It's
We're working
an
at
Everla. We love you, Dad.
I got you.
We love you, Dad.
All right. So I have an Everlast. It's not a Miller, but I'm not spending $11,000.
Ooh, what's that fancy thing?
That is a water cooler.
Oh, for when you're
Pumps water through here, so it keeps my hand nice and cool while I'm welding. Otherwise, I'll burn my glove into 5.
How many times you got to change your diaper before you're done welding?
I get up too much.
Well, no. The reason I asked you about the valve springs is because what about an electronic cutout?
A what?
Electronic cutout.
For the exhaust?
Yeah, have it up
I
here.
thought about
for
it because
racing.
one thing that I wanted to do, and I thought about this because I. Okay, hold on. Because now you're getting my creative mind going here. One thing that I wanted to do is I saw this on an S2000, and I can't remember what the guy's channel was. I saw it. It had to have been every bit of 10 years ago at this point.
S2K from hell.
That is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
The black S2K,
Yep.
and that thing
Comes right
was
out the fender.
freaking dope. And he's got this like triangle side exit exhaust, and it sounds completely nasty. And I was like, that'd be cool. Doing something along those lines to where even if it's a hood exit or something coming right up through here or whatever with some sort of flange around it to keep the hood, you know, kind of shielded from heat, but have a cutout for it somewhere. I considered that not really
That would be
top
more.
priority, but
Well, that would be once it's gonna be in every Friday car
Yeah.
or strictly track car. Because
Yeah.
what I was talking about is, you know, the cutouts that go underneath, you can still run your duals to have it be, you know.
yeah. Or the other thing that would be fun that I thought about doing is trying to find some smaller flow-through mufflers, something that's not as bulky as what the factory ones were. And then because I'm gonna
Because
be
you
building-
want that ground clearance.
Right, but I'm gonna be putting side skirts on here as well, something that kicks out to flow along the length of the car to match the fender and the quarter panel where they come. So I'll be putting brake ducts somewhere in here as well because it'll be stepped out to here by that time. So I'll have like a brake duct for the rear in here as well. And then I thought about putting something in here for an exhaust to exit right out here, right in front of the rear wheels.
See, and that's
somewhere.
where those electronic cutouts will come into play because you flip that switch, you got a race
But-
exhaust.
But on that point, I would need cutouts if I still had the mufflers, and I could still run it out the side and it'd be louder.
Well, in the state of Ohio, it's got to exit over the rear axle or the rear tires. I mean, just saying. I've never obliged by
Let's
that
go,
rule, but you know what? Fuck Ohio. I mean, we gotta edit that, but
3, 2, 1. All right. So
I made the
the
first
other
mistake.
thing, yeah, you made the first mistake. That's perfect.
I'm the camera guy. I'm not.
And I'm the one
supposed
that's supposedly nervous about all this. I'm doing great.
You are.
Killing it over here.
You are.
So, one of the things that I am doing is I forgot to mention this. So we're obviously going to be doing an intercooler. I'm not sure on the AC delete. Import Alliance is in Georgia in March, and I'm not sure how warm it's going to be on that day. I do like having AC, and if this is going to be a daily driver, I'm going to try to retain it as much as possible. But one of the things that I will be doing, and I'm going to contact a couple tuners, Motoza, I know they're a pretty big one. They do really good work from what I've heard. They can send their ECU, their programmer, right to you, and you can get everything hooked up right there without having to drive it to their shop or anything like that. Or I might just see what ECS can do for me. But one of the big things that is an issue with these cars is all the vacuum BS. Nobody likes dealing with all of it. ECS sells a kit of silicone hoses to replace all of your vacuum stuff in the back because it's such a pain in the rear end. So, that being said, all of the vacuum stuff and all of the emission stuff is coming off of the car. I will be going to an external wastegate, blow-off valve setup instead of the diverter valve, and we're not internal wastegate. We're not doing any of that. I'm going to clean the hood up, clean everything up under here. We'll get rid of all these hoses, all of this vacuum stuff here, all the EGR stuff coming up, all these hoses here.
Wire tuck it.
Yes, it'll be a mild wire tuck, but we're gonna hide everything away as best we can. Power steering fluid reservoir possibly getting moved up into this area because I'm gonna relocate the battery to the back. Coolant tank will probably stay, but my washer reservoir is gonna go. I mean, I'm gonna have to stop at gas stations often enough. I'll have a lot of opportunities to keep my windshield clean, so I'm not really too worried about that. We're gonna go with a return style fuel system. I do know that. 2 liter or R8 coil packs. I'm not sure which one yet. I'm gonna try and clean the valve cover up a little bit, make it look a little bit prettier, I guess. But
Paint it.
yeah. It'll be powder coated and all that jazz. Not really. I don't know. We're gonna clean up some hoses, but I'm not trying to go with a full shaved bay or nothing. I mean, I am going for more of a race car look, and you don't shave race car bays. You just put what you need to be functional in there, and you deal with it and make sure it's easily accessible and workable. So that's the goal. Obviously, right now you can see there's not a lot of room in here anyhow. So freeing up some of that room and making it a little easier to work on stuff would be great. Not trying to go all fancy show car and everything like that, but a lot of stuff will be aftermarket under here. T3 manifold. I'm not sure what turbo I'm going with yet. Will be a T3 flanged.
Go with an 86 mil.
Just throw nitrous on there too while we're at it. Send it.
Hey, well, you're gonna need to spin that turbo somehow.
Oh,
Do what Clayus McFarland did.
Yeah, I
Did
thought
port
about
injection nitrous right into his turbo.
Sorry, I got coronavirus right now.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go get you a line.
Christ.
No,
So
line.
we will be doing hood pins or hood latches, one of the two. Everything up front, these metal fenders are gone. We're gonna take basically anything from the strut towers forward is gonna get rebuilt, so to speak. No front bumper. Everything's gonna be tubed up front splitter. You know, all this stuff up front is gonna be very open, very easily accessible.
It's gonna look like a toothless Bill from a trailer park.
Good God. It's almost gonna be daunting.
That's what you
I've
should
spent the
call
last
it.
like 4 weeks just thinking about this nonstop, and now
You
I'm
ought to just call the car Toothless Bill instead of Project
we'll call it
Black Sheep.
Toothless. I like Toothless. It'll be
Toothless
like How to
Bill?
Train Your Dragon, except it'll be like How to Train Your Welder. I don't know. We'll just fucking. Oh, there it is. There's my first. That's good. It only took me
And
like
cut.
10 minutes. All right.
24.
There we go. All right, ready. Hi, I'm Aaron. All right,
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
start
wait,
this
I
over.
gotta go.
So, but that's pretty much the build. If you guys have any suggestions, have any questions, feel free to comment. You know, you can DM me out, whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter.
Click like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. Follow us. Keep up with it. We're gonna be trying to post at least 1 to 2 videos a week. We'll try and post them all on Sundays. Everybody's off on Sundays and everybody's quarantined right now anyhow, so you'll have more than enough time to keep up and watch everything. Try
We're
to
gonna
keep
have
you entertained here for a while.
We're gonna have a Facebook and Instagram page
Yes, we will put that in the description.
when
We'll
it's
put
up and
links
going.
in the description when everything's up and running. It'll probably be a couple weeks before we really get started on this. I got my Dadmobile that I got to get taken care of and ready to drive and everything like that before I take Dadmobile number 1 out of service to do this project. So
Gotta put a couple 100 miles on it. make
yeah,
sure
we gotta do
it's-
some. Yeah, we gotta do some flip flopping. Make sure that the
Just filled the tank and you're ready to tear this
Yes.
car apart and shit.
yeah. Knowing my luck, I'll blow a motor, and that'll be the end of that experiment. Oh, I do have one question if everybody wants, because I'm undecided on a vinyl color. So I have 3 options. First, I was thinking flat white, do a Stormtrooper look, go with black wheels, black grille. Obviously, the windows are already tinted; they're going to stay that way. Certain black aero components, nothing drastic. Option 2, more of a charcoal gray with some like copper metallic in it, but flat as well. Or there was option 3, do a gloss vinyl wrap, but do it red, black, gray, and white digital camo. So an urban camo, urban digital camo with red in it, little bits of red here and there. It was either be really clean, be really kind of dark and sinister looking, or just go bat crap crazy with it and just do something that screams, look at me. So not sure which one to go with. If you guys have any input on that, feel free to comment. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm still undecided, so we'll tally up the comments and we'll see what everybody thinks, and we'll go from there. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment and let us know what you're curious about. And other than that, hit the notification bell and subscribe, and yeah, keep up with us. Thanks, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at AppleAaron. We will be posting a link in the description. Also, we are going to be creating a Facebook page called Project Black Sheep. We will also post a link in the description for that. Thanks, guys.